that, no problem. So the Rockets crushed the Thunder 118-87, taking a 1-0 series lead, but all eyes were on the MVP frontrunner. James Harden outscored Russell Westbrook 37-22 for the first time this season. Harden had scored fewer points than Westbrook in all 4 of the regular season games. Meanwhile, Westbrook, 6 of 23 shooting. Stephen A., did the game help or hurt Westbrook's case for MVP?
I got to admit to you, I think it kind of helped it, to be honest with you. And the reason why is because look at what he was playing with. I mean, my goodness. I mean, when you look, Max, at what Russell Westbrook had to deal with, let's take this into consideration. We've got a situation right here where Andre Robertson, we all know he can't shoot, but he still had 18 points shooting 7 to 10 from the field. That's an aberration. Steven Adams, just 7 feet tall. You got 5 rebounds. Taj Gibson, you played 20 minutes. You're 6'9", you got 1 rebound. Enes Kanter, who couldn't guard you with your bad back having self, Max, or me with my bad knee having self. This dude, Enes Kanter, ends up with about 3 rebounds. I mean, you've got guys 6'9", 6'11", 7 feet tall going into a series against a Houston Rockets team that is known for its shooting, hardly known for its rebounding prowess. They kill you on the boards. They neutralize you in the process. You're 6'9", 6'11", 7 feet tall, walking into the game, understanding that physicality is the lone hope that you have of winning the series. And you not only get beat, you get beat down, you get embarrassed, you get annihilated. It's just one game. We understand that, but watching them last night, and Victor Oladipo, I know he can play. Don't get me wrong. He's no scrub. But talk about a dude that didn't show up last night. What did he shoot, Max? Like 1 for 12 for crying out loud? I mean, I just said to myself.
Patrick Beverly's a bad little dude.
Well, Patrick Beverly was on him, but he was also on Russell Westbrook. But I'm just saying.
Yes, he was.
Look at these guys, Max. Russell Westbrook had no help.
No, none.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Max.
You want to talk about Russell Westbrook's MVP case, and he's the regular season MVP for me. I thought he'd be before the season. I'm confident in saying he would have my vote. Were I to have a vote in MVP, it would be Russell Westbrook. This doesn't change a thing for me, but if you want to say if this is a little piece of evidence for or against Westbrook, the evidence is against him here. My favorite player, but the evidence is against him here. Why? First, the quote, the basketball is his only friend, right? Remember, before the game. Well, if you play that way, if you play as though the basketball is your only friend and your teammates aren't, people are going to question your MVP status, particularly if there's a guy you're playing against who obviously treats his teammates as though they are. Now, is that an unfair characterization of Westbrook? Does he not pass the ball a lot? After all, he averaged a triple-double. There's an assist category there, double-digit assists, and he doesn't have shooters on the team, well, fine. But the optics of him or the acoustics of him saying the ball is his only friend are bad going into a series like this, when the fact is he doesn't have the teammates to shoot the ball. And whose fault is that? And I hate to say this because I think he's also great. Sam Presti. Look, when you look at OKC, they've been knocking on the door for the better part of a decade now. They had incredible talent once upon a time. And even now, he somehow keeps them a playoff team on a small market budget, the whole thing. I get it. He's an amazing GM. But going into this season, we all looked around and said, where's the shooting going to come from? Is there shooting on this team? And the answer is no. They don't have enough shooting, which is why I think Harden's even in the MVP conversation, because Westbrook's GM didn't get him guys to shoot the ball. And that's the bottom line. What he did get him, and this is 3, and this is also on Westbrook, are big, strong guys who should be able to do 2 things, especially against a team like Houston. Bully them inside in terms of the offense, and also dominate the offensive glass, and generally dominate inside in terms of rebounding the ball. And they got bullied in that situation. So they didn't do the job. Who's the leader of the team? It's Westbrook, and his team, his bigs, weren't ready to play. Steven Adams admitted it after the game in that third quarter in particular. You want to talk about Donovan or whoever else because there are adjustments to be made, but you come out into that third quarter, it's a game. And by the end of the third quarter, it's not a game because the bigs were shredded. OKC's like, we're going to take the three-pointer away because we don't want to be, sunk under a barrage of three-pointers. Okay, fine. But how do you lose the inside game to the Rockets? That's a really bad performance by OKC. It doesn't help Westbrook's MVP case at all.
I think it helps it immensely because it reminds you what he's playing with. Victor Oladipo shoots 1 of 12 from the field. Cantor, Adams, and Todd Gibson combined. Are you ready for this, Max? They got out-rebounded by Ryan Anderson. Combined. 3 guys, 9 rebounds, and Ryan Anderson, who averaged 4.6 rebounds per game on the season, out-rebounds them. Houston...
He's there to stretch the floor.
But what I'm saying to you is this. He's there to stretch the floor. You're absolutely right. But the thing about it, Max, is this. Think about this. Your identity, it's who you are. It's why we predicted at the beginning of the season, even when Kevin Durant decided to depart for Golden State. We said Oklahoma City should still be a playoff team because they have these other requisite parts. And as a result, that combined with Oladipo having been acquired before Kevin Durant was traded. Before he moved on. I'm sorry, not before he got traded, before he moved on. But you acquired Oladipo before that happened. You still had Westbrook. You still had Cantor, Robertson, and Adams. We said they were going to be a playoff team because they were big, they were physical, they could get away a lot of nights with beating you up, even though the game has changed. They go against a Houston team, and all of a sudden, they get out-rebounded 56-41. Their 3 bigs combined get out-rebounded by Ryan Anderson. And then on top of it all, Victor Oladipo, who was supposed to be some sort of a solution at the shooting guard spot because Robinson was at that position. Robinson was at that position last year, and which means you didn't have that position offensively fulfilled. Victor Oladipo shoots 1 for 12. So you see something like that, and then it makes you step back and say, damn. Look at what Russell Westbrook has to work with. People have been making this argument in favor of him against James Harden.
I feel like any argument that he was padding his stats when you see he had no help out there, because some people are saying that on his way in terms of on this MVP run.
Well, Max, let me tell you and Molly this, because this is not me talking at this particular juncture. This is from NBA aficionados, Hall of Famers who study and watch the game. They know about Russell Westbrook's greatness and his tenacity. But what they repeatedly said to me throughout the latter part of the season is that never have they seen over a lengthy period of time guys boxing out and clearing out while Max at the same time not going for the ball, like clearing everybody out and clearing the way for Russell Westbrook to come in there and grab a rebound. These are the kind of things that they point to.
They're missing something, though, Stephen A.
Go ahead.
They're missing something, though. If you're doing that as part of a winning strategy, they won 47 games. It's a lot of, that's not a bad team. And when Westbrook got a triple-double, their winning percentage was over 80%. They're winning 4 out of 5, better than 4 out of 5 of the games where he gets a triple-double. So maybe boxing out and letting him clearing out for him, maybe that's a winning strategy.
But answer this for me, Max. But answer this for me, Max. Let me throw this at you before we go on to the next segment. What they were saying is that it's one thing when that happens and you just see it happening and it seems matter of fact. But as the noise was reverberating about the potential of him being a league MVP, they were saying you've seen guys doing this kind of stuff in the first quarter, in the second quarter. And they were giving credence to that argument.
Of course they want him to get a triple-double. I'm sure that was going on. It doesn't sound hard to believe. In fact, you can even see it at times. But it was in the service of winning. That's the main thing. And finally, let me just say, when Westbrook is played almost to a standstill by Patrick Beverley, who's on both guards and keeps them both down, that does not help his MVP case. If people are looking at this series in terms of voting for the MVP. He has my vote, but he didn't help himself
let's be clear about something here. Patrick Beverley is one of the elite defenders in the National Basketball Association.
Yes,
and it is time we stand up and give this kid credit. He is a rough rider from the streets of Chicago, and he brings that game to the basketball court. He backs down from nobody. He could play on my team any day.
Any day of the
week. You want that dude on your team.
Let's continue the playoff talk, gentlemen. No surprise with this one. The Warriors